Welcome to the BP Leadership Podcast, where real leaders are made. I'm your host, Bill Purvis, and I'm excited about being with you today and bringing along a guest that I know you're going to enjoy. She's a highly energetic young lady who's an actress and a singer. Her name is Victoria Nicholson. She has starred in things like Chicago and Newsbees and A Chorus Line, Guys and Dolls, and a number of other things that she does, full of energy, full of life, and has so much to bring when it comes to knowing about that kind of lifestyle. In fact, she's going to be able to talk to us about things like staying relaxed when you're in a different part or character, how to do things that are beyond your skill level, the qualities that she's learned in performing, and how to put that on the big screen, and then how to take that off and be a personal, persuasive individual as a one-on-one character. She's got it all, the total package. And I'm excited about sharing this with you today and having her as our guest. So let's just get started right away. Victoria, welcome to the program. All right, Victoria, I'm excited about being with you today. Let me ask you, I know this, of course, we've worked together a little bit, and I see what you've done and some of the programs you've done, the shows you've done. And let's just start off right off the bat. How did you get started in performing?
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to be able to share some of my experiences with you.
Yeah.
Well, I got started performing. I started dancing competitively about 7-8 years ago, or did it for 7 to 8 years, and then started teaching at a dance studio and auditioned for plays in high school, but never really got offered anything, never got cast. And then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with theater.
Right.
So my senior year of high school, there was a talent agency that came to Columbus that was searching for people of various talents. And so I auditioned not knowing how legit it was. And I ended up making it to the second round, and they have different hubs in LA and New York and Atlanta. And what you do is you go up there 3 times a year, and they take your headshots, and they bring in professionals from the industry to train you in different categories. So I did dancing, lifestyle modeling, singing, and film. And they train you in each of these areas. And then after that, they prepare you to create a package to go show all of these different agents down in Orlando.
Right.
We all went to the Gaylord Palms Hotel, and they brought in all these agents, and you learn how to do these things. And at first, I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
I went in there, and my vocal coach at the time was actually a local Atlanta record producer. And we had to go in and sing for him, and it was a little intimidating, not gonna lie. And he just looked at me, and I remember him saying, "You're singing all the wrong things." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "You're not showcasing yourself at all." And I said, "Okay, well, I don't know what to sing. I've never done this before." And immediately, by hearing my voice, he typed up a song and said, go listen to this song, and this is perfect for your type.
How about that?
So ever since then, I was kind of able to see what my type was. And then I went down and did the conference down in Orlando, and they put you in a massive conference room.
Right.
And all of these agents just come and sit.
Right.
They don't look at you. They look at their notepad, and they'll glance up at you every now and then. But you get up there and you perform. You do your song. You do your modeling situation. Right. And then they have callbacks. And based off of your callbacks, it's kind of like speed dating.
Yeah.
But for performing, so you go with your headshot and your resume, and you've got less than 60 seconds to get them to buy into you.
Wow.
And to see if they want to sign you or look at you any further.
Yeah.
Some of them want to give you critiques. I remember one lady from a agency in Jacksonville was like, "You know, I like what you're doing here, but you need to do some dialect training. You're too Southern." And I was like, "Okay."
Could you get rid of that?
And I tried.
I need to learn that.
What are your suggestions for that? Please tell me how I can do that.
Yeah.
And she said, "Go on YouTube and start listening to just clear dialect and try to lose your accent as best as possible, because that will be a something that can keep you back in life."
Yeah, that's right.
So I didn't know that. So I learned some good things from that, but I left still empty-handed, but with great advice, great friendships, great mentors. And then I came back to Columbus trying to figure out where I was going to go, and my dance instructor at the time had just gotten his first directing opportunity at the Springer Opera House here in Columbus,
Very
Georgia.
good place, yeah.
Awesome. And he said, I want you to come audition for a show I'm doing called A Chorus Line.
Uh-huh.
I knew nothing about the show, and I said, okay, no problem. So I went in, sang. It went really well. He had never heard me sing before, so it was really cool. So I went in and performed, and he sat me down in his office and said, I want to offer you this show. And
how about that?
That was the first show, and I was 18 years old. So
wow, so that was your first performance?
Yes, sir.
How about that? Now, were you one of those kids that as a child you just had to act, or you were dramatic like, or could feel, or just artistic like as a child?
I was, but I also was very shy as a child.
Okay.
I was very shy when it came to strangers.
Uh-huh.
But I also, with my family, was super out there, super outgoing.
Yep.
But I lacked a lot of confidence as a child growing up.
Right.
And when we moved to Columbus, Georgia, when I was in the 4th or 5th grade, I started going to the Springer Theater Academy.
Okay.
When I was younger, and they teach life skills through stage skills.
Okay.
And so I was able to kind of learn through that process how to get more confidence.
Yeah. Now, what's that like? Life skills through stage skills. What's the is it the stage of your life you're in?
So basically, it's teaching students skills that you can take into the workplace that apply to the theater.
Okay.
Or take into your school that applies to theater. So different games, and they'll do games that are improv games where you got to be quick on your feet.
Right.
Well, that can apply to school, being quick on your feet and knowing and being prepared for anything.
Right.
They teach you scene study, so how to take a scene and just do cold reads and get up there and do it without really having a lot of context.
Wow.
So they teach you a lot of things like that are, and confidence in your stage presence, which is great for in school when you're giving presentations or performance.
Yeah.
So it was really voice and movement, how to project your voice,
right.
How to move your body to certain sounds, and it's a really great program that they've got going on there. And it's I think every student should do it because those skills are so valuable. In school.
Well, it's helped you. I noticed that when you came to work with us, just your ability to communicate with people, how you connect with people. In fact, you communicate more than just in words. It's the expression, it's the tone, it's everything,
Right.
and on the stage, obviously, you blow it away there, and so. But it's crazy that you've learned all that at this skill, at this age of life, and things like that.
Absolutely. Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. It has definitely been a long process, but it's been fun to kind of enjoy it and see how it goes. And the theater's always changing.
Right.
So you've got to be able to change with it and be able to know what's coming. And that is definitely something that BP leadership has helped me with, is being able to adapt to that change.
Yeah.
I think about one of your lessons, how to handle change.
Right.
It's been so beneficial in this career.
Yeah, and I would think, too, when you're auditioning, of course, you're competing with everybody else for the job at all times.
Yes.
So they're bringing their A game, so you've got to you're always having to earn that spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the great. So is there a pressure to that, a stress to that?
There is a pressure that comes with that because, of course, the business is very cutthroat because everybody wants to be the lead. Everybody wants your job.
Right.
And the best piece of advice that somebody's ever given me is just do you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
yeah, good.
Anytime you go into an audition room, there's always going to be somebody that's skinnier than you, prettier than you, somebody that can kick their leg just a little bit higher,
right.
somebody that can sing that note a little bit better. So at the end of the day, no one is Victoria Nicholson.
Right.
No one
there
is Bill
you go.
Purvis. Nobody is the person that you were designed to be. So you just have to go in there and say, this is me, this is my brand, this is who I am and what I represent. And then just leave it all up to the director because it's all up to their interpretation of what they want for that part.
That is so cool. But you know what you're saying is true. That's the secret, I think, that separates people and takes them further is just being themselves, learning
Absolutely.
who they are and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I read a book years ago by Roger Ailes, and he was the guy that he would help pick these movie actors to go on and have a series. He picked friends and things like that. And he said, I can tell in a few minutes whether or not they're going to go far by how comfortable they are with being themselves.
Wow.
And he said, if I can, and he would literally do it this way. They would bring in the pilot program. He would put it on his television screen, then he would turn the volume down, and he'd say, now just watching them, does it make me want to turn it up? You know, you ever walk through a room and saw a television program and said, I don't know what they're talking about, but I got to dial in. He said, if they could get me with other than just their voice to stop and want to turn it up, he said, I knew we had a winner there. And,
Absolutely.
And a lot of that was just his whole thing, just being you. That was his secret. So you got that down and got it early. That's pretty cool. Now, let me ask you this. The audition process, when you do that for performers, are you ever in a room where there's many people trying for the same job?
Oh, yes. There are definitely auditions, and every audition is different. There's some auditions that you'll go in, and there's at SCTC, it's a Southeastern Theater Conference that they have,
Okay.
And typically it's anywhere in the South. It's different every year.
Right.
But you go and you have 90 seconds, and all of the theaters or companies that want to see performers sit in an audience, and you get on a stage, and it's like a big cattle call. You've got 90 seconds to go up there, and in those 90 seconds, you do a song and a monologue, or if you're not a singer, you can do 2 monologues. But you only have 90 seconds to sell them.
Wow.
And they can make an instant judgment call on you based off of your appearance. I have a friend who went to an audition one time, and the one she went to was based off of a point system. So they scored their performers.
Okay.
And she barely missed the cutoff because they didn't like the color of her dress.
Oh, wow.
So
Gosh.
it's crazy to think that could keep you back.
That's
but
right.
It's different every time. And there's some auditions where I've been to dance calls, and dance calls are probably the most challenging for me.
Yeah.
Because
what are they like?
You go in there and you put a number
Right.
on your attire, and you get in there and you're in a huge room. There's not a lot of space to move around.
Right.
And you can't really see the director because there's so many people, or the choreographer.
Right.
So you're just in there packed in like some sardines, and they do the combination, and they say, all right, this. All right, let's see you do it, go.
Wow.
And they'll review it a few times, but for the most part, they just want to see how quickly you pick it up.
Yeah.
And that can be very stressful.
I would think.
Especially when you can't see them, you're in a large room. And then from there, after you've learned the combination, they break you down into groups of 4 or 5. So then from there, you go into your group of 4 or 5, and they'll make 3 people go in the front, 2 people go in the back, and then you'll switch lines. And then you'll do it again, and then they'll ask if anybody can do tumbling or any special tricks, and if so, they'll present those at that time.
Gosh.
So it's a fast-paced process.
It would be, yeah. I would think it'd be one of those things that if you weren't good, you were going to find out pretty fast.
Very quickly.
Yeah,
Very quickly.
Yeah, that would be the pressure part. Now, let me ask you this: I heard a guy years ago that did well in Success, and somebody said the secret to him was he was mentally relaxed. And I would think if you're having to do what you do, competing, you got 90 seconds, everybody's got that pressure on them. I would think the one that could be more mentally relaxed is going to be probably the one that wins that game.
Absolutely.
Because I would be so tense otherwise, thinking, I hope I hit this right. I hope I.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And that's me every time. I have the worst audition anxiety. I'll go in there and be like, I've got to give myself a big pep talk before I get up there, because it is so, you look at all your competitors and you're in a room with them and you're thinking, oh no, like you can already psych yourself out before you even step on the stage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mental game of knowing, like I said earlier, who you are, that your package is unique and designed for you. And knowing that it doesn't matter what anybody else does, you just do you.
Yeah.
And you do your package, and you do the best of your ability. And to me, that's the ultimate definition of success in this business.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Is doing the best that you can do, and being able to go home at the end of the night and say, no matter what happened, the director was going to make up his mind based off of what he wanted.
Right.
And more often than not, it's never 100% about talent. It's always about, talent is definitely a portion of it, but it's also on, if you're kind, that is a big thing too. If you're approachable, if you're teachable, is
How
huge.
about that?
If you're not teachable, then
yes,
they don't want to work with you.
I could see that.
And on top of that, they look at, there's things on, if you're going for a leading woman, they have to compare you to their leading man. Do you guys look well together?
Okay.
In size references. So there's a lot of, and if you're a young age and if you're a lead, how do you match? If you're supposed to play a mom, the kid doesn't need to look older than you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of logistics in the puzzle that also I kind of try to take into consideration. Yeah,
those all play a big part of it.
Absolutely.
Those other qualities, though, you mentioned, those are true of life, too. You know, just the kindness, the honesty, being yourself. That's really the secret in any area of life. That's the key to it.
All right, well, thank you guys again for joining us. My name's Hunter Patchen, and let me tell you, if you enjoyed this episode, you're in for a treat because this was only part 1 of a 3-part series of these podcast episodes with Bill and Victoria's conversation. And part 2 is coming very soon, and in that, you're going to get to hear a little bit more about the craft of acting and performing and the trades and skills that Victoria has learned that she's been able to apply to her life that have helped to benefit her that can also be applied to your life and benefit you as well. So I hope you're ready for that. And with that being said, make sure, if you have not already, hit the subscribe button so that you can get notified whenever we release a new podcast. And if you're part of our YouTube family, good to see y'all. Glad you're watching. Hit the bell. Hit that bell so that you can stay alerted as well every time a new video releases each and every month. And lastly, if you would like to stay up to date on all the cool other things that we've got going on other than just the podcast here at BP Leadership, make sure you check us out on our new website, bpleadership.com. Well, I'm glad you guys tuned in. Get ready for part 2 coming at you soon of this conversation with Bill and Victoria. And always remember that this is where real leaders are made.